this is Reverend Don Lewis coming to you from beautiful Florida. And today our question comes to us from Draconum Blade. And Draconum Blade writes to ask whether it is common for people to come upon advanced meditation and magical techniques on their own without having learned them, even though they have relatively little experience, and what would be my advice for people who have this experience? And my answer is that I don't know that I would call it common, but I wouldn't call it uncommon either. And it's my belief that what this phenomenon represents is past life memory. I'm a great opponent of the term gift when talking about psychic skills. A lot of people want to say they have a gift as if they had done nothing to develop it. I personally believe that even when it comes to us naturally, we have still developed it in other lifetimes. We've still put in the work. It's not coming from nowhere. And yes, sometimes people will simply remember these techniques and not know where they got them from. And it may seem in those circumstances as if it is some sort of gift, but it really is not. It's a memory. So yes, it does happen that people will sometimes come to startlingly advanced techniques without ever having learned them consciously. And sometimes this can be a wonderful thing, and sometimes not so wonderful, depending on many different variables. And you have to bear in mind that when you are remembering something, you never know for sure if you're remembering all of it. And the circumstances of the present life also have a bearing on how you will perceive those memories and how you may express them. What is my advice for people who have this effect? And this effect is sometimes called being born old. My advice is to study even though things seem to be coming to you naturally, because you don't know if everything is coming back to you. You don't know if you knew everything that you need to know in the first place. If you don't have conscious memories of where it's coming from, then I would say it really is very good to make sure that you are getting a good balanced education along with those things that are coming to you naturally. And I would say that you should study with a good system of lessons to learn how to control these things, to learn how to develop them in a mindful manner, even though you have a good head start because of what you're remembering. And you may find that there are a lot of things that you have not remembered or in those past lives might not have known. Now, sometimes it's the other way around. Sometimes you find things that are coming to you that nobody else knows, and they're not in lessons, and they're much better than what's available, and that's great when that happens. But it doesn't always. And sometimes you will see people who have a genuine ability, but it's come to them naturally with no training, and they're using it in really wacky ways, and often very fear-based ways, because they don't have the knowledge that goes with the ability. They brought through the how, but not a lot of the underpinnings to it. Now, if you're studying past lives, if you're working with past lives, you may get much more complete memories, but that too can be very variable. So again, my advice would be to go ahead and study anyway, even though things are coming to you naturally, because in working with metaphysics, in my opinion, it's very important to work in a systemic, sensible, balanced, and grounded way. And if you look at some of the metaphysical systems of the past, they did not always approach it in that way. So what you're remembering may not be the best system for you now. It can give you a good head start, but there may be many more wonderful things to find. So don't simply accept what comes, but expand upon it, study, learn more, and I think you'll find it a happier path. Now, there are, I'm sure, people who have only what comes to them through memory and never learn anything else, and probably are quite happy with that. And, you know, more power to them. But I think most people who are born old, most people who have these past life skills and memories, would be much happier if they continue to develop them in this life. And the most important thing is to understand grounding, releasing, and generally working with energy. Because many of the things that cause people to feel they've had negative experiences really come down to ungrounded energy. And if you know how to work with energy, you'll avoid most of those. So that would be my advice. I hope you find it helpful, and until next time, may you blessed be. Reverend Don, super omnibus of incantations and invocations for all occasions. Marianne Kay and I created this massive compendium of magic and artwork for you to use in any way that you would like. There are literally hundreds of spells and hundreds of illustrations, which can be mixed and matched and used in many different ways. Check it out now at witchghoulstore.com.